Welcome to Manamind's 365, where every story feeds your faith, strengthens your soul, and reminds you that even in life's darkest valleys, God still walks beside you. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. This is a story for the heart, a story for you, the bench by the river, a story of healing and hope. There was once a woman who sat by the same river every Sunday, not to pray, not to cry, but to remember. She believed the river had taken everything from her. But one day, the river spoke back. Mara used to come to the river with her husband every weekend. It was their place of laughter, quiet, and dreams. But after the accident, she came alone. For months, she sat on that same old bench, listening to the river's endless whisper. Some days it sounded like music. Other days it sounded like goodbye. One Sunday afternoon, as golden light danced on the water, an old man approached the bench. He walked with a cane, his steps slow but steady. "Mind if I sit?" he asked, his voice warm, gentle, like sunlight breaking through clouds. They sat in silence for a long while. Then the old man said, "Funny thing about rivers, they never really take. They only carry." Mara looked at him, confused. "What do you mean?" He smiled. "Sometimes what we think we've lost is just being carried to a new place, where we can meet it again." The old man told her about his daughter. "She was the light of my life," he said, looking at the river. "Gone too soon. For years, I blamed this river, until one day I realized she wasn't gone, just home before me." He turned to Mara, eyes filled with peace. "When you see life from heaven's side, loss looks a lot like love still waiting." Tears streamed down Mara's face. She hadn't cried in months. The man patted her hand. "Don't be afraid to let the river carry your pain. It knows where healing lies." Days passed, then weeks. Mara returned to the river, but the old man never came back. One morning, she noticed something glimmering by the water's edge, a small, smooth stone. On it were 3 words, carved faintly, "Still with you." She gasped, tears falling freely. She realized she hadn't seen the man again because perhaps he wasn't meant to stay. Maybe he was sent. That Sunday, Mara didn't sit on the bench to grieve. She sat to thank God. She whispered to the river, "I understand now. You didn't take him away. You carried him home." The water sparkled as if smiling back. The pain didn't vanish, but it softened. And in that quiet peace, she finally felt her husband's love again. Stronger, deeper, eternal. A year had passed since Mara last wept by the river. But one Sunday morning, she returned, this time not to grieve, but to give. She came back to the place that once broke her to help someone else heal. The river looked the same, quiet, silver alive. But something was different now. Mara no longer carried the heavy ache of yesterday. She had learned to walk with peace instead of pain. Every Sunday, she brought a thermos of tea and an extra cup. She didn't know why, but deep down, she hoped that maybe someone else would need it. Because once upon a time, she had needed someone too. It was late afternoon when she saw him. A young man sitting near the edge of the riverbank, staring blankly at the water. He held a sketchbook in his lap, but the pages were blank. Mara walked slowly toward him. "Beautiful day," she said softly. He nodded, not looking up. After a long silence, he whispered, "It doesn't feel beautiful anymore." Her heart recognized that tone, the sound of someone trying not to fall apart. He told her his name was Daniel. His sister had passed away 3 months ago. "She used to paint by this river," he said, flipping through the empty pages. "I thought if I came here, I'd feel her. But I don't. I just feel gone." Mara looked at him gently. "Maybe you're not meant to find her here," she said. "Maybe you're meant to find her in you." He frowned, unsure what she meant. She smiled. "Grief doesn't disappear when the person leaves. It just changes its shape until it becomes love you carry." They sat together in silence as the river shimmered. Then Mara reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, smooth stone. It was the same one she'd found a year ago, the one that said, "Still with you." She handed it to Daniel. "When I lost someone I loved, "This stone found me. I think it's ready to find someone new." Daniel stared at it, tears filling his eyes. He whispered, "Thank you." Mara smiled. "Don't thank me. Thank the one who sends what we need when we're ready to see it." For the first time in months, Daniel opened his sketchbook and began to draw, slowly, tenderly. A river, a bench,
and two people sitting side by side.
Mara watched him, her heart full. She realized something beautiful. When God heals you, He doesn't just close a wound. He gives you the strength to help someone else stand. And so, the river that once held her pain now carried her purpose. And the woman who once sat in silence became a quiet messenger of comfort. One cup of tea, one kind word, one river visit at a time. They called her the keeper of the bench. No one really knew her story, only that if you were hurting, you could find her there, by the river, with a smile and a cup of tea. But heaven knew her name, and every soul she helped find peace. Years had passed since Mara first came to that quiet riverside. The seasons changed, summer warmth gave way to autumn gold, then winter's hush. But the bench remained. So did Mara. Every Sunday, she came with her thermos, 2 cups, and a gentle presence that seemed to make the whole world breathe a little easier. People began to notice. Some came for conversation. Others came just to sit near her, to feel that strange calm she carried. They didn't know what it was, but Mara did. It was God's peace. The kind that doesn't shout, it whispers. One morning, a young mother approached her, tears streaming down her face. She clutched a crumpled letter in her hand. "My husband left," she sobbed. "I don't know how to go on." Mara listened quietly. Then she said, "I once lost someone too, and for a long time I thought my life had ended. But God showed me, endings are often disguised beginnings." The woman looked up, eyes trembling. "How do you know it'll be okay?" Mara smiled softly. "Because He never leaves, even when everyone else does." The young woman cried in her arms that morning, and when she left, she carried more than just hope, she carried peace. That afternoon, Mara heard footsteps behind her. She turned, and there he was, Daniel, older now, more confident, his hands stained with paint. He laughed softly. "I thought I'd find you here." Mara's eyes shone. "You came back." "I did," he said, handing her a small wrapped canvas. When she opened it, tears welled in her eyes. It was a painting of the bench, the river, and a woman with a warm smile. In the sky above her, faint but clear, the words, "Still with you." He said, "I wanted to thank you for saving me that day." She shook her head. "No, Daniel, I didn't save you.
God did.
I just made sure you didn't sit alone." That evening, the sun set in gold and rose, spilling color across the water. Mara stayed longer than usual, her hands resting on the bench. She whispered softly, "Thank you, Lord, for turning my pain into purpose." Then she closed her eyes and smiled. And in that gentle moment, surrounded by the same river that once broke her heart, Mara's spirit slipped quietly into eternal peace. When people found her the next morning, she was still sitting upright, calm, peaceful, with a smile. Beside her sat the thermos, 2 cups, and a note that read, "If you're hurting, have some tea.
See to white.
God's still here." Weeks later, Daniel and the young mother returned together. They found the bench, surrounded by flowers. Daniel placed the painting beside her note. The young mother whispered, she was right. God never leaves. The town began to call it the Bench of Healing. People came from miles away, not because it was special, but because it reminded them of something holy, something eternal. And when the river glowed at sunset, it almost felt like Mara was still there, smiling, listening, and letting love flow on. When God heals you, He writes your story into someone else's healing. Our greatest legacy isn't what we leave behind. It's the peace we plant in others, the light we share lives on long after we're gone, and the river keeps flowing. Every story leaves a seed of hope, and when you let it grow, it changes the way you see the world. Remember, God never wastes pain. Every tear, every trial, every quiet victory, it all becomes part of His greater plan. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of faith, healing, and hope, only on Mana Minds 365. Until next time, keep your heart open and let your light shine.